Hello everyone and welcome back to Planet Coaster. It has been a long while, but I'm not giving up on this, even though it's literally sucking the life out of me. There's so much to cram into this ride and I've really got ahead of myself with this one. But anyways, today we're continuing with the Mario Galaxy themed ride in Planet Coaster. The main part of today's video will be a sweet Galaxy themed area. But firstly we are starting off with some finishing touches in this first room, such as lighting and other little effects. I've also made a little Yoshi egg shaped planet, just like the one in the games, well, kinda. But I think it looks quite cool and I'm happy with it. Getting the shape right was quite tricky. Well actually that's a lie, because the shape is all kinds of messed up, but from the angle of the coaster POV, it works just fine. I added some details on the planet, such as a little Luma that you can purchase 1-ups or mushrooms from, just like in the game, and some blocks, and some other little things. I then did some work for the first time with basic art shapes. I made the little star-shaped thing that you collect the blue star fragments on. This actually wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. If you've played Mario Galaxy, you should be able to recognise it instantly. At least I hope you could. Right, so I had no idea how to tackle this. So I kind of just opted for a bit of a land with a bunch of shrubbery and trees on it because that always helps. Anyways, I also added a bunch of lollipops and sweets to really emphasize the sweet theme in case it wasn't obvious enough with the giant cake I'm about to make. So to make this, I used art pieces too. I think the base of the cake looks remarkably accurate. The top is a different story, but hey, I'm no building whiz when it comes to making things from scratch. But this is still my special little creation. I decorated the cake with every sweet related scenery piece I could find in the game. It legit looks like I raided a pick and mix and just dumped the whole bag on the cake. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, it's a video game after all, it's not supposed to be a Nigella Lawson masterpiece. And that reference probably flew over loads of your heads if you're not from the UK. But yeah, if you don't know who Nigella Lawson is, you should look her up. She's a very cool baker and she's very sensual the way she describes things. She's like the perfect person to parody and she's so fun to watch. And she kind of went, I guess, semi-viral for the way she says microwave.
Need a bit of milk, full fat, which I've warmed in the microwave.
Okay, so back to the video. What am I doing now? I'm attempting to make a giant sundae ice cream thing. I mean, I think it looks pretty cool. It's just a bunch of art shapes. Even the bulk of the ice cream is just different coloured spheres. And then of course, the Matt signature move of just dumping a bunch of crap on top. The real problem came when I realised how big this piece was. Like trying to fit it into this little room by the edge of the park and building space. Like it was quite tricky, but then I realised, oh wait, we're in space. Stuff is supposed to be floating, so there we have it, floating sundaes and cakes. I then turned my attention to making a gigantic fork, and I promise you it was not meant to be this big, but here we are. I just had to make it work. I used art shapes once again. I duplicated them and placed them on top of each other to get some thickness. The same method I used for the cakes, if you could call them that. I then painted on the ground with the terrain tool to make like a little guide for myself so I knew how I wanted the fork to look. I lined some art pieces and copied them over to the other side. I also gave the metal part of the fork some thickness too, but I toyed the shape that I grouped in a funky way so that the base of the fork was thicker than the tip of the fork, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Well, you'll see what I mean soon enough. After I was done, I had to place the fork into the scene and I moved it at least 15 times, I think, before I was happy. Then I decided to add more, so I just duplicated the whole thing. One thing that looks super messy is all the star panels. Oh my gosh, it was such a hassle to enclose this little section. It's because I'm right on the edge of where I'm allowed to build. It looks so messy, but I guess it's a good thing when you're on the ride, you'd never know. But from the outside it is a hot mess. Overall, I am quite pleased with how this room turned out. Like on our way out of this room, we passed by a video of Mario flying alongside us and we're making our way to Freeze Flame Galaxy, which is the one with all the lava and the ice. It's a pretty cool idea having the two opposing elements in one place. After that, I'm not really sure where we're going, if I'm honest. I know I want a haunted section with booze, a Bowser final battle section of course, a scene with Rosalina's spaceship, and then rescuing Peach. I might actually need to do the rest of the ride in a different file because the park is getting quite full, but I'll see how it goes. At this point, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to leave you guys with the rest of the time lapse. There's some cinematic shots at the end, as usual. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't worry, we're going to finish this one day.